Hey Simmers, are you tired of broken or unused CC cluttering up your game? Yeah? Well, me too. So today we're going to be diving into a super easy way to clear out all that broken or forgotten custom content using the Sims 4 transporter. This will help you free up space and hopefully give some of those precious gigabytes back to your game so it runs smoother than ever. First, let's get you set up by downloading Transporter. All right, so for this tutorial, we're just going to go ahead and type in Sims 4 Transporter. And the first one should be it. It is a French creator, so it is going to be .fr. It has not been updated in a while from what it looks like, but that is okay because it doesn't typically need that many updates. And if you scroll down, you'll see that they have the information about it in French first, but the English instruction is usually always right under the French. So you're going to go ahead and just click on download this file. You're going to save it to somewhere you know where you can find it. As you can see, I have saved it here in my downloads folder. I'm just going to do that and you'll see that it'll tell me, hey, it already exists. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and open it in my downloads folder. You go ahead and you'll click on it. You can extract it, which is the proper way to do it, or you can just go ahead and throw it where you want to put it at. And for me, that would be my H drive. Oops, I mean, I should put it in my F drive. That happens. That is fine. So you'll find where it is on your drive. In this case, it's my F drive. I'm not going to really install it again, but we're going to go ahead and click through it. It'll say, hey, do you want to install this? You say, yeah, sure, go ahead. It'll tell you a new version could be available, but you already know there's not because you just downloaded the newest version. You're going to go ahead and hit next. It's tell you information about it. You can read that so you can know the change log information about the app if you want to. You can create a desktop shortcut for yourself or for all users that use the computer. You can choose the installation and then you can go ahead and install it. I will not be doing that because I already have it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just show you how to use it. All right, so S4TI. All right, so you'll see that we have the newest version. When you go in, you want to go ahead and click File. You want to change your settings. Well, you want to check your settings. You want to make sure that it is going to your game folder, which is where your actual Sims 4 game is installed. And then you want to make sure that it goes to your Sims 4 folder and documents, which is the folder right before your mods, tray file, saves, all that stuff. If you need to change it, you just go ahead and click here to take off auto detect and go ahead and click these dots to change it to wherever you have your Sims 4 game installed. I'm going to go back to auto detect. But yeah, if auto detect doesn't do it, then you can just go ahead and change it that way. If you've changed it, then make sure you go ahead and hit save. And that way it'll save to wherever you have changed the file paths to. That's pretty much all you need to know as far as setting it up. All right, so next up, we're going to go into the actual Sims 4 game. Alrighty, so we are here in cast and we want a sim that has no CC on them. You have a few options to do this. You can create your own sim or do the easier option of just downloading one from the gallery. To make things easier, click households and select base game, making sure custom content is unchecked. Next, type base sim in the search bar. Then find any sims that have absolutely nothing on them. And this will give us a nice blank slate that we can fill up with all our CC that we want to get rid of. Once you've downloaded your sim, you'll need to quickly go through and make sure the sim only has game items on, replacing or getting rid of any CC that in all honesty should not be there. You continue doing this for any sim you need, from infants all the way up to teens or young adults. And don't forget to check on your occult lock CC from time to time and pets as well. Don't worry though, you won't have to do this every time because next we'll be saving them to our library. I like to name mine something like no CC sims or CC free. This way you'll always have prepared sims ready when you inevitably need to do this again in the future. Finally, we get to start cleaning up our CC. Now, I'm not going to show you the whole process of me doing this, but I am going to share some quick tips with you. I usually like to start where I've noticed the most issues, as this will likely take several sessions depending on how much CC you have. You should, of course, filter by custom content And I only like to add the gender filter or other options when I'm looking to fix or modify CC in Sims 4 Studio. We can see how to do that in a future video though. Also be aware that some things are, let's say, mistagged in Sims 4 Studio and will only appear if you leave the masculine and feminine fashion choices unchecked. All right, so tip 1, if you've created your own Sims for this, make sure it doesn't use a custom body preset. A lot of CC clothes don't morph well with custom body presets, and sometimes you'll see holes in the clothing that aren't actually a problem with the item itself. If a Sim's abdomen disappears while wearing certain CC, that item was likely tagged incorrectly in Sims 4 Studio and isn't necessarily broken. Same thing for hair. Sometimes hair will clip through the head if it's made for the opposite frame or is tagged incorrectly. Make sure to look out for the red and white question mark pattern. This means it's missing a mesh, and we'll see how Tray Importer can help us with that later. Also, if you put a missing mesh item on a Sim, I recommend going to the next outfit option because the pattern makes it difficult to see the item you're currently trying on. If you want to get rid of items in categories like skin details and accessories, I suggest you have something like Tidy Cast. It divides larger categories into subcategories and helps you make sure you don't accidentally cancel out items by putting on items from the same subcategory. I'll leave some helpful links to a few options for you to try out. A problem that I've personally been having is CC items just totally glitching out. They worked fine before some of these recent updates. Now, as you can see, they flicker as they stretch across the screen. This causes a lot of issues in game, and more than likely you will either have to download hopefully a newer version from the creator. If not, you have to try to fix this yourself. And more than likely, most of us will probably just get rid of this item. And for the last tip, if you're like me, you probably have some broken default eyes. These eyes will have the wrench icon on them, but when you click them, they will look like the original Max's eyes. To get rid of them, you will have to put the eyes on the Sim and then save the Sim to your library. Otherwise, if you click out of this category, the eyes will switch back to the Max's original. And I'll cover a different method for this in a future video, but for now, I suggest you save this until the end. Here's a bonus tip. Periodically, you want to save your Sim to the library. Things happen and you would hate for all that time to be wasted. You can delete all the previous saves at the end. Just don't be like me and accidentally delete your CC-free save. Unfortunately, this isn't a quick process. You have to go through every category one by one, skin details all the way down to shoes. Just remember, you can take your time and do this over multiple sessions. Alrighty, but for now, I'm gonna go ahead and finish going through everything and select all items I want to get rid of or fix. I'll be back shortly to show you the next steps. All right, I am back. I've loaded my Sim up with all the CC I want to fix or remove. We'll do a final save here and then jump over to Tray Importer. And I typically save it as delete us. As you can see, I've already kind of done that a couple times. So I'm gonna save it to my library. Just a heads up, Tray Importer works while the game is open, but you'll need to close the game to delete any CC. Alrighty, so before we get back into Sims 4 Tray Importer, there's still just a little bit more prep work we have to do. Sorry. But we do need to go ahead and make sure that we have a copy of our mods folder. Make sure you are in the Sims Documents, EA, The Sims 4, and Mods. You can go ahead and you can copy and paste this, hopefully to another drive if you have it available, or at least into another space on your drive. Just somewhere where you have a copy. I tend to like to write the date that I last made a backup so I can know when that backup was created. Okay? Sorry. There's one more folder we need to make. If you are trying to fix CC, I would suggest you make a item called fix these CC or something that will let you know like, hey, I want to fix these CC items. Whatever you need to, whatever kind of folder you need for that. Okay. All right. So we've made our 3 folders that we will need. So now we're going to move on to Sims 4 Tray Importer. Earlier, we did not go over how to navigate in it. So I do apologize for that. But basically, when you first open it, it will look like this. You can go to file, you can import sims, you can export sims. So you might want to go ahead and export your CC free sims. You can just click on them and then, so you can just click on them and then you can go back up here to file and you can export them. Make sure you hit the option without CC so it won't have anything with CC on it. Technically though, your CC free sims will always have CC on them if you have mods that add buffs, sliders, or default or override items. So technically they always have CC, but if you just export them without the CC, then those things are removed. Okay. You can name them whatever you want. I would just name them CC free. As you can see, I already have a zip called that. And then I will go ahead and save them. So that's what I have to do for that. All right, so we're gonna go to our delete us file. I'm actually gonna blow this up to make this bigger so you can see it a little bit better. And we're gonna go ahead and go to CC. Depending on how much CC you have on your sims, it may take a little while to load. Okay, so it's finally loaded up. So the first thing you need to know is what this key means down here. So basically the red means that an item is not installed. This can apply to buffs and things, so don't be concerned about that. You are concerned when it says a mesh is not installed. So you'll see the type here and you'll see mesh. And when it says a mesh is not installed, that means that you have some work to do. Orange means that it is a duplicate. I don't think I have any duplicate files here. I do not. Yellow means that it is an override or a default item. So all your overrides and defaults appear at the bottom down here, so you're aware of that. Green, usually you don't have to worry about green, you just mean custom paths. Blue is good. Blue is what pretty much everything should be. Purple just means that you have an item that requires some DLC that you don't have installed. And then gray is just extras. Gray can mean pretty much anything. And you'll see that on quite a few things. It's not anything bad, but you know, there you go. Oh, well, I do have a duplicate right here. This vampire dress thing. Okay. So there we go. We found the duplicate. All right. At the top, you can see that you can sort these items by name if you click on them. If they'll make it easier for you, you can sort it by type if it'll make it easier for you. You can sort it by the location of where it is in your Sims 4 mods folder. So as you can see, I have all CC casts and all kind of folders for this. You can also sort by sims. So I know that I put a bunch of CC that I want to get rid of on this particular sim. And I can just go ahead and choose that sim out of the option of sims from that family. As far as being able to delete items, you can see the image here to make sure that that is an item that you want to delete. You can double click on it to open it in your Sims 4 folder. And then you can click Shift Delete to be able to permanently delete the item without it going to the recycling bin. So you have to be sure that you want to do that. You don't have to Shift Delete. You can just regular delete and it can go to your recycling bin. But that's why we made a backup in case we delete something that we need. If you want to delete multiple items at once, you just go over here, click, and you drag on the items that you're sure you want to delete. In this highlighted area, you want to go ahead and right click and then hit show in containing folder. If you have multiple items in the same folder, it should highlight all those items. I have a lot of stuff in here, so I don't think it's going to do that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hit delete, and it should have deleted all those items. If you wanted to, you could hit Shift Delete to permanently delete it to bypass the recycling bin. So now if I try to click on this, it should not pop up in the folder, which it does not because we've just deleted all of them. If you want to move something to your fix this folder, then you can just go ahead here and then just copy it over to wherever your fix these CC folder is. If it's, I want to fix this one, and then it'll just be over there, and you still have to delete it from here though, if you don't want it to be in your game until, you know, you fixed it. If you need to find a mesh such as this one, all you have to do is right click on it, go to find on Google. It's usually the first thing that pops up. Pinterest may pop up, you know, it just depends. And you go ahead, you'll click on it. And usually somewhere in there, the creator will tell you, hey, this is the mesh that is required. And they'll give you a link to it. And then you can click on it and go to that link and download the item that is required. So your CC can work if you want to keep it. Next, you want to look at any duplicates you have. Make sure you go ahead and delete those. I do suggest you go ahead and check for duplicates before you try cleaning up your mods folder. That would just make this process a lot easier, and you don't have to worry about having a bunch of duplicates in here when you're trying to clean up your folder. So yes, I suggest you do that, and I have a video for that that I will link, or it should be on the screen. Next, usually down here, if you sort it by type, we'll have your sliders and stuff. So be careful if you decide you want to try to delete everything, because you may accidentally delete your sliders and be upset. So just be aware of that. Alrighty, so there is one final thing you need to look out for. Much like earlier, when you saw an object that was missing a mesh, anytime you have a piece of CC that depends on another mesh, you'll see the CC here, and then you'll see the folder where either the recolor or retexture is, or the mesh is. So one of these two objects depend on each other. You'll see that there's another piece of CC that leads to another folder. So what you can do is you can go ahead and you can find on Google before you delete an object that has another piece of CC attached to it. And then you'll go down here and you will go and see if this item is a recolor or a retexture. And this one does not look to be. Based on how it looks, it's more than likely used as a base for another object. So another object is probably using this as a retexture or a recolor. So if you delete this, then you're probably going to have a missing mesh for whatever is in this merge package here, because this is a merge package for me. If this wasn't a merge package, you can go ahead and you can just right click and find on Google and see what object depends on that and see if you want to keep that as well. But yeah, I wouldn't delete this only because this is a recolor that whatever's in this package here depends on. So just be aware of that. Alrighty. So there is one more thing we need to discuss, and it requires us to go over to our mods folder. You're going to go ahead and click on wherever most of your CC is, or any of the folders that contain your CC. I want to go ahead and enlarge this so we'll actually be able to see it. So what I want you to do is go ahead and arrange your CC by file sizes. I want you to have the largest CC at the top with the smallest at the bottom. As you can see, there are quite a few large file sizes here. The top item here is a skin. It is a very beautiful skin, and I genuinely love this skin, but I can't justify keeping an almost 700,000 kilobyte skin. That is an insanely large file for one piece of CC. But thankfully it has an overlay, which I'll just have to make do with. So I am going to go ahead and delete this. This next item is an over 500,000 kilobyte skin. Again, this is way too large, and again, it must go. So basically what I'm saying is please take a look at your CC, because large files like this can really slow down your game. This especially applies to all my alpha CC simmers out there. Alpha hair and skin unfortunately tends to be on the larger side. And while they do make the game look fantastic, you should probably prioritize what you should keep and delete based on how smoothly you want your game to run. Now, I prefer to try to keep my cache CC file sizes under 300,000 kilobytes for one item, but I do like my other skins here, and I don't really want to delete them right now. If I find that I need to get a little bit more out of my game, then I may consider going back to delete it. You should definitely consider what works for your PC as well. So next, I want you to sort by file size again, and then I want you to check for any file that says 0 kilobytes. These files are more than likely corrupted. So check them out in Sims 4 Studio. If it has a corrupt message, go ahead and delete it. You can try and find it online to see if you want to re-download it, but as is, it is corrupted. So please delete it from your game. It is doing nothing but slowing down your game and causing issues. But if you click on this video here and do what it says, first, you're less likely to have corrupt CC still in your game. Don't forget to check out this video as well for the quickest way to delete duplicate CC. Otherwise, I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any tips and tricks as to how you quickly clean up your mods folder, go ahead and leave them down below. I thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you all are doing well. And please take care of yourselves until next time. Bye.